Good morning.
Good morning.
Excellent. Wednesday, let me explain about StartUp Grind. StartUp Grind, we're actually a new chapter. We've been around for about four months here in Pasadena. StartUp Grind is a entrepreneur, startup, business professional organization. We have in 200 chapters in 98 countries, and we're still growing. Matter of fact, I know someone actually in Burbank, they're actually who's going to be appointed to be a chapter. So just to let you know, if you're ever in Burbank, they're starting a chapter out there. And so my name is Aaron Wheeler with StartUp Grind Pasadena. Every Wednesday morning we call the Morning Grind. That's sponsored by the Pasadena chapter. Right here, Epic Spaces. Why? Because it's an epic space. I'd like to say thank you for joining us today, and hopefully you'll join us every Wednesday, because we have this every Wednesday. We're sort of the middle of the week, kind of get over the hump, right? Try to get recharged, re-energized, and an opportunity to make friends and connect. So, once again, welcome to Morning Grind, and I'd like to say, Epic Spaces is a co-working space, if you have not noticed. But it's not just any co-working space. It's a co-working space that has suites. It's really an opportunity to come, sit down, do your work, and have a good professional workspace where you can bring your clients and such. What I like to do is I like to introduce Dustin Day from ExpertDOJO. He's one of the founding partners of ExpertDOJO, and also the CEO of Botcopy, and he will be our moderator today. Dustin Day, come on.
I'm Dustin Day. I run ExpertDOJO. We're a startup accelerator in San Monica. So we take on about 100 different startup companies a quarter and help them with their business plans, help them get to market, kind of with everything. Driving up here, I was trying to do the math from the past 2 years that I've been there, and I've had the privilege of working with over 450 startup companies in the past 2 years. So it kind of gives me this fun perspective on what's worked, because I've seen a few, like Swelly, come to market and do phenomenal. And then I've also seen some who kind of go through the process and hit these pain points that contribute to a really high failure rate among startups. So that's kind of what we do at ExpertDOJO. We're here to help any startup company in mainly the early stages of business. If you're generating over $2 million a year, not the perfect resource for you. We're kind of more focused on early stage, helping you in the beginning, get to market, and get capital. So that's who I am. I'm going to bring up everybody else so we can get the conversation going. Fred, if you want to come up, you just sit down. Let's just have everybody come sit down. But I wanted to kind of get to know you guys a little bit, since we are a smaller crowd, so we can kind of cater the conversation that way. So everybody on this panel is heavily involved in kind of the AI and bot space. So that's kind of the focus today. But I wanted to know from your perspective, like, is anybody in the room currently building a bot? Does anybody know what bots are? Okay, we'll start there. Cool. Anything specifically we want to learn about? Yeah.
I'd like to know what the current standard is in terms of setting my expectations of what I can do by building bot.
Okay. For your business specifically, or like retention rates and stuff like that you're expecting to see?
So I have a client that is currently using a manpower-intensive way to communicate with people via text, and I would like to see them automated.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else? All right, well, we'll get this thing going. Yeah, so again, I'm Dustin, and I'm just going to have everybody kind of introduce themselves and what they do in their business, and we'll get started.
My name is Todd Terazzas. I'm actually born and raised Pasadena. My background, I went to film school at USC, and then my company's called BrainItch. Our product is Hans, and Hans is a developing AI. Today he's a tool for conducting context-based research. So basically allowing you to have one-on-one focus groups and pollings, leveraging Facebook Messenger or later other type of conversational UIs.
My name is Rob Lubow. I'm a creative director, copywriter. Used to work at big agencies. My company is copyrevision.com. I also work with Dustin at Botcopy.
My name is Anthony Kelani. I'm currently a software engineer and technical evangelist for Microsoft. I work with a lot of startups in LA. I work with the top accelerators in LA and the Bay Area. I'm the local expert on chatbots. Microsoft has a really robust tool set for building chatbots and deploying chatbots. So I'm that local expert, and I've built several bots for different companies. I'm also a former startup founder. Sold my company to the team.
Hello, I'm Fred. I'm the co-founder of Swell. Swell is a multi-platform social network for collecting opinions. It's basically between two pictures, and people vote on that. And we run Swelly, one of the biggest chatbots on Facebook.
It's hard to after that. Messenger on Facebook. So I'm Scott Tamara. I'm from the South Bay. Background is my co-founders and I are from Williams College and Caltech. We're in the food space. Artificial intelligence for food. Basically a meal recommendation chatbot. So you basically say, hey, I'm in Pasadena. Were you guys crazy? And right now, personally, I'm really craving a lemon tart. But I don't know where to get that. You tell me. I can ask Kathy. Your suggestion will be amazing. Or I can ask an automated bot. And please, I would also give a recommendation for it.
All right, perfect. So we just had an amazing conference at F8. I don't know if anybody tuned in live or actually attended there, but Facebook is kind of driving a lot of the bot space with their messengers and chatbots on there. So I kind of wanted to start. I know Todd and I know Fred actually attended, so just to give their kind of perspective on what they see Facebook's adding to bots and how having employing bots on Facebook Messenger can be useful for your business. Sure.
So basically, we all knew that chatbots were a big hype last year, and there were, I think the number was 70% of chatbots were failing. So basically, Facebook went, pretty hard on, getting chatbots to be a big new marketing channel for businesses and for people to leverage, making easy touch points for, engagement and for purchasing. But now they're going to stand back because these bots are not that conversational because we're not there yet when it comes to natural language processing and natural language understanding. So now David Marcus, who's the head of product for Messenger, stated that now we're not going to call them chatbots anymore. I forget actually the term he's going to use, but really they're bringing back that the whole idea of Messenger is like it's a mini browser, right? And a bot is more like a mini website within there. So you have buttons, it's inside of a conversational UI, that makes it more comfortable, but really they're trying to bring it more to that. It makes it easier for you to engage a business, whether it's for customer service or it's for asking a question, and be able to find, I guess, the products that you need in this platform that Facebook has, in this app that Facebook has that has 1.2 billion monthly active users. So I guess we've got a long ways to go until we have conversational bots, but today they're more like little mini websites.
Yeah, so one thing I saw that was really interesting was Swell when they first came to us is they had an app. And they saw that their app was performing at a decent rate, but they weren't extremely satisfied with the growth in the app and the amount of money that they had to spend per customer. So they looked at different markets and where they could reach a lot of customers in one place. So it said 1.2 billion people on a platform like Facebook Messenger. So in the early stages, like last year, how can we take advantage of this opportunity where there's 1.2 potential customers for us all in one place? So it allows us to get to market, be in an area where all these players are or customers are, and the cost per customer is way lower. So, Fred, you can kind of explain the transition on why you thought it was a good idea to kind of jump ship from the app. I know they still have the app. Why a lot of the focus last September?
Yes, so basically we started with apps, so Android and iOS, and when Facebook announced that they opened their platform for bots, we thought of, chatbots that could be a good solution for marketing our apps or drive from the messenger people into our apps. But we figured out pretty early that that's not working pretty good, so the conversions were not that good. So we thought, why not building the cool app experience into the chatbot? And this is why I think we were one of the first apps that made it to transform an app into a conversational experience, and with nearly all features the app has into the messenger bot. And now we focus on keeping the people in the bot or in the app. So we want to make a perfect cool experience of a combination out of bots and apps. So people can access us wherever they are.
Okay, so when people are thinking about that shift, they're saying, is this fit for my business? Like I have maybe an e-commerce business or a mobile app. How do you know if there's like a good product market fit for jumping ship to the bot space?
Me personally, I think that every business is going to have a bot. Communication via text is the most popular way of communicating right now. It's surpassed social media, and I feel like a lot of businesses now are actually communicating with their customers via chat too, mostly directly, person to person. But I feel like there needs to be some kind of artificial intelligence there to handle certain automated messages back and forth between the customer and the business. And I feel like since that channel is there and people are using it, chatbots are going to, every business will have a chatbot eventually.
Yeah. From the current people who've shifted over and have a lot of either Salesforce or part of their business using some kind of AI, have they seen a lot of positive feedback from the customers and more sales because of it, or what's the kind of?
I read a few articles saying that it's been positive, like the feedback has been positive, especially in e-commerce. Surprisingly, people like shopping via chat on, for or those are in the chatbot.
Yeah.
The really positive feedback.
It's interesting. Past 5 to 10 years, like everybody's focus as far as like UX and UI has been on like touch and feel and experience within an application or on a website. And now we're kind of going back to conversation. How can we get things done on a more human level, like face to face or person to person, and bringing this artificial intelligence to help curate kind of that process. So, Rob, from a creative writing standpoint, how do you think conversations can be more effective to gain trust? Like, if you look at any customer journey, you have to raise awareness, start trusting you, get attention, you can create advocacy, and you have this whole sales process. Now, a lot of people try to do that on a website through a proper funnel where you have a call to action, you lead down, there's a click button that gets you to do this, and you see something 3 or 4 times, and eventually you purchase if you're into it, or you bounce off the page. Now, how do this conversational design kind of aspect from a creative writing standpoint, what does that feel like? How do we gain trust with our users from a robot?
Right. Well, every case is so different. The conversational interface, there's some set goals you're trying to get the user to do something, and you don't trust someone you don't know. You don't trust someone who doesn't have established credibility, and you don't really trust a robot because a robot doesn't care about you. The robot doesn't know what you're feeling moment to moment. So to establish trust, you then you'll, in the year to come, you'll figure out which channel to use. Because maybe it's kind of hazy right now. How do I use a bot? Where do I put my bot? That'll become easier this year. You're going to have to start writing your bot. You're going to have to program this little advocate to go out and interact with your customer. How do you get that customer to bond with your little advocate that's just a robot? And there are some ways to do that. I think giving your bot a unique quality is something I think we're programmed almost from an evolutionary standpoint to react to. When you meet a person, they have a unique face, unique voice, and you instantly know this is a unique creature. So how do you give your chatbot a unique persona? It's difficult if you tell your writer, I want someone who's friendly, hip, and knowledgeable and helpful. Obviously, every bot on earth is friendly, hip, knowledgeable, and helpful. Is there one person who would say, give me a bot that's not helpful? No, it's so hard. So you're just going to be like every other bot. It's not enough. Swelly is a whale. Okay? It's a socially aware, hip, trendy whale. So you've got whale, and you've got some more common ones like socially hip, trendy. Then there's Yala is a social media assistant, another bot at Slack, B2B. And this bot is also helpful, but it's retro, jazz, and space age. Okay, so you've got two qualities. It doesn't matter what they are. Take them and kind of infuse them into your script. So if you have a script that walks your user through a set of persuasive elements or informational elements, look to bring in these little unique traits to make your bot like no other bot. And I think when you do that, there's something intrinsically trustworthy about a bot that has its own unique identity. That's just one piece. There are other pieces too, but it's not one that. So,
excuse me, Dustin.
Yeah.
May I ask a question? Forgive my ignorance here, because bots are pretty new to me. I mean, I didn't really hear about it until maybe a month ago. Can you just tell me what is very simple, what is the purpose and why is it so important, the bots?
Does anybody want to kind of give an overall definition?
I can try real quick. So the conversation interface is really the trend that we're moving towards because chat, messaging is such a hot channel right now.
Right.
That's the channel we want to figure out how to use. And that involves conversation, unlike an email back and forth, or, we want to automate it to huge numbers. We want to talk that chat back and forth through that channel. And it has to be automated because you can't be chatting, messaging with that million people at once. So you've got to create a conversational interface. It's different than a static UI or website, which is more informational. Conversational has that same vibe of if you're messaging your friend, you know how that feels back and forth.
Right.
We're all addicted to it. We probably do it all day long. Probably some of you are doing it right now.
I mean, it's basically a service that you interact with basically through conversation. So, for instance, going back to the Nordstrom example, like if I interact with the Nordstrom bot, maybe I'll say like, oh, I want to buy some red shoes, and that bot will respond with some recommendations about what to buy. So there's some form of intelligence there. Some bots are dumb. Sometimes some bots are just based on rules. Some bots are based on some artificial intelligence. So for instance, a dumb bot would more so be maybe like a simple weather bot that says, it might ask you what your zip code is, just return the weather or the temperature. There might be a bot that actually can understand language, so you could say, just use natural language and it can determine intent, what you intend. So, like the Nordstrom bot, you ask, I want to buy some red shoes, and it knows you intend to buy something. What is that? What do you intend to buy with shoes? That's more intelligent. So there is a range of intelligence that goes behind these services.
And are they appropriate for all types of businesses?
What's your business? Just in a nutshell.
Well, my husband's, which is what I'm curious, is emergency and disaster preparedness. And so he has products, but he also is helping to educate masses of people on how to prepare for emergency, what to do during emergency, and then what to do to sustain yourself get yourself up and running after?
I mean, that's a perfect use case.
We're all around there, so that's a good idea.
That's a perfect use case because, you know, normally you would have to go to a website and download a website or download an app, but with the conversational, you can text that service and get information.
Think about how you learn, right? I mean, I'm CRT certified, I'm first aid, I'm an Eagle Scout, that's amazing. And when you go through all those courses and whatnot, I mean, unless you follow up and constantly, you know, re-engaging with the material over years and years and years, you're going to forget things, right? And so unless there was a means that you're always having a conversation. I mean, with even like a brand, right? A brand's not what it says about itself, it's what a friend tells a friend. So with that whole concept, right, if you're having a conversation with someone like you do with a friend or with a family member, and now you're having that conversation with a business or a service, you're going to have that back and forth. It's going to be more like you're talking to a friend, which then can help persuade you into learning faster, or actually even maybe going down that rabbit hole to actually purchase something. So that's really why conversation is now becoming more of the new medium, because we realize that we've lost a lot of connections through technology, and leveraging conversation, whether it's voice or text, is a better means to, you know, relay information.
Yeah, so with Botcopy at least, when we meet with people, we say, what are your objectives? Like 3 objectives. And they're usually catered around data points. Like, what are you trying to learn from your users? So in December, when I was working with Fred, we said, we would like to get location, age, and have them vote on pictures. So Swelly is an A&B market research tool, but they've made it so fun for users to interact with it. It's like, what should I wear today? What shoes should I buy? You know, what A and B, but now you can either compare yourself with friends or have potentially, what do you guys have, 3 million users now? 3.2 million users, and that's just in the past 6 months, right? 8 months. So when I met with him first, you know, his important thing was teaching people how to use it. You know, that's objective 1. Get them to go from point A to point B, but understand that upload picture A, upload picture B, put it in a category. But we wanted to also have him vote on 2 different other people's thoughts, other people's like questions. And in order to do that, we not only taught them what it looks like and feels like, but they also voted for someone else. But this is all through conversation and like playful, like, hello, hi, I'm Swelly, a whale from deep down under, and there's like whale then. And we got like fun and playful with it, but created this onboarding experience that taught people and used it, but more importantly, gave them crucial data points for the business. So something like yours, you're thinking about, you know, is this an emergency? Is it like a 911 call where they can quickly text like 911 faster they can make a call? In this case, is it, you know, how to, in this situation, what should I do? And just kind of an informational feed. That's a good point as well. But in the beginning, you really got to think what your objectives are, what you want to learn from your users, and how you can kind of automate the whole process. Any other questions about what thoughts are?
Speak up. Can't hear you back here.
Is this a little bit better?
There we go.
Should we start over? Do you have a question?
Yeah. Could you describe maybe on a lower level? So you mentioned like a lot of bots basically put up you ask for weather, it returns what your temperature is in your local area, and you ask who's winning your World Series. What would you say on like on a low level distinguishes just those types of bots that have no human interaction versus ones that are say more likely to pass the turn? Type of language processor? Is it like a training set of neural net? What would you say is kind of like the sweet sauce to create those types of things?
So I don't know if I got the question right, but I think it's, what is the secret sauce to creating a really advanced AI? Is that the question? So I think a lot of it right now, when you think about open domain question and answering, it's a really, really, really tough question. And when you're doing like A and B, like you do a lot of button-based A/B type questions, that's not so much a lot of NOU there, or not a lot of natural language processing. But you start asking like, how's your day, where are you from, what would you want to wear, open domain, like answering anything, that's really tough. And I think there's a lot of research being done right now through neural nets and whatnot, but trust me, we're not there yet. If you have a neural net backing your bot will fall off your conversational edge, boom. Your clients will be gone. My clients are gone. So we take it a step back. I think we're doing a lot of intent classification, what Anthony was talking about earlier, where it's basically you get a lot of content, you get a lot of data coming in, you're trying to understand, okay, what are they actually asking me, and how do you respond to that? And that in itself is also still a tough question. But if you can think about the problem, the data coming in, and if you can pre-process that data and simplify the dimensions, simplify all the different factors and the variables that are coming in to isolate down to like, instead of asking them 1,000,000 things, just asking one of 10,000 things. And of those 10,000 things, if you can really like tear down the sentence structure or understand that there's only so many ways of saying food. Like in my case, like you say taco, I understand taco's a food thing, beef's a food thing, chicken's a food thing, and if you think of it from that perspective, like I want blah, I want X, I want Y, I want Z. The problem's a lot simpler. I don't know if that answers your question, but basically just simplifying the problem.
I'm not going to add on. There's a few different tools that you can use to make your bot smart. There's NLP stuff, which understands language. So at Microsoft, we have something called Lewis, and it basically can understand conversation. It can break down, somebody's asking me about something, what their intent is, and what they're asking about, or what their intent is with that object, or and it's basically an API. Make your bot smart. We can basically make responses based on like what the person's intent is.
It's like 20 questions.
And then there's other things like cognitive services that can make your bot smart as well. So sentiment analysis is an API that we have in Microsoft that tells if what the person is saying is negative or positive. So you can base your response, your bot response, based on a negative or positive saying. There's things that analyze images. So like if your user uploads an image to the bot, that bot can determine what's in that image using a computer vision API, things like that. So there's a few other tools, APIs through Microsoft Cognitive Services that you can look up and make your bot smart in addition to NLP stuff.
Back on that, I run the LA Chatbot Meetup group, which is now called AI.LA, and next week, if you're available, I think it's Wednesday, we're doing a workshop presentation with Microsoft down at General Assembly in downtown to go over all of the services Anthony just described, cognitive services and Lewis. So we'll talk later and I'll tell you how to get there.
Question.
Yeah.
You mentioned sentiment analysis. Utilization of sentiment analysis. Do you believe that there is an obligation on behalf of bot creators to disclose the utilization of these emotion analytic systems?
You said there's an obligation to let people know that
You're using sentiment analysis? Specifically, if the responses are kind of gauged based off of that, you're learning based off of the sentiment analysis of the user. Is there a way you're disclosing, like specifically with, I don't know if you're just using, obviously not vocal analysis, you just want tone, sentiment. Like, what are the ethics of that?
Honestly, it's a great question. So chatbots are relatively new. We're in this kind of like embryo stages of where this artificial intelligence can go. And the truth to the answer is we don't really know at this stage, right now. Because there's no one writing like a moral code for what chatbots can do. There isn't really any government regulations around it. Currently, for doing a lot of the stuff, there is scraping regulations and personal information and data collecting, but kind of seeing where it can go is one of the reasons that I'm kind of so fascinated with the space, is because it's so new, and we have people kind of leading the industry right now that their experience in the space is a year and a half. So to have that short time of experience and also kind of be leading the space, we'll see. It's kind of to be determined. Because right now you have the main places where you find bots are Facebook Messenger, Line, Kick, WhatsApp, Skype, Slack, SMS, Alexa, OK Google, or technically bots, Siri, I guess technically a bot.
Do you think that's potentially due to a lack of diversity in AI creation? Maybe not specifically talking about bot space, because I think that's a little more diverse, but just talking about gender diversity.
So the question is, because of lack of diversity?
Gender diversity? A lack of women?
Yeah. I think there's a lack of diversity just in general, not just women.
Do you think that there aren't considerations potentially due to a lack of diversity in this space?
In this space specifically, yes. In every startup space, yes. I think venture capitalism for the past 20 years has kind of prepped us to only invest in kind of a non-diverse pool of talent. And it's kind of an overfished pool, in my opinion. And sure, it brings us to Snapchats and Facebooks and different companies, but I think we're all lacking, half of our talent pool all over the world in that kind of investments. Yeah.
Yes, I think that. Yeah, I think that certain AI systems could be negatively impacted by the lack of diversity. Just the people training the actual AI, it could be biased toward a certain type of person or a certain gender or a race. That's been the case in a few different cases of AI and just systems. There's been a few talks I've watched where they discuss what you're talking about. So yeah, that is definitely a concern, and I think that it is important to have a lot of diversity in training these systems. Like a vast different types of people conversing and using these systems, so it won't be biased towards a certain type of person.
And also creation of it, right? Not just utilization.
Yeah, creation too, yeah, because different perspectives and how to design and train systems. So definitely, I think that's important.
Like with anything, there's going to be, with any AI, you're going to have really two big biases. One, you have the bias of the developer, the creator. You have the bias of the data they use. So today, right, majority of these bots, these AIs that they're developing, they're using data for the last 10 years. How you were talking 10 years ago in culture is not how you talk today. So because of that, these AIs are actually all all old school. That's why, even with Hans, we're developing a clean, personalized data set from today on, based off today's cultures. So we're trying to inhibit a lot of these biases that are predominant around any type of software, any type of product. But especially, we're going to see that more come up within the AIs like Series and Cortanas and whatnot, because they're just using old data. And yeah, there's a lot of biases and a lot of problems. So that's something that I think we need to have more conversations about in this space.
I think the ethics of AI is actually pretty fascinating, and there's not a lot of standards right now. I can tell you, though, that there's a lot of research about this particular problem going on at the research university level. Within the last month, I've had 3 people literally talk to my bot and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to curse at you 9 times and see how you respond to various curses. And then in other conversations, you have people that are manically depressed talking to your bot, and you're trying to figure out, like, am I responsible to dealing with that? Or, well, actually, I thought about that for a bit, and my personal opinion is that all these messages are going on a third-party platform like Facebook or Google's little Allo or Siri. They should be reading all the messages, and they should probably be responsible for any of those ethical concerns, only because you as a bot maker aren't educated in this particular space. And if you want to have a consistent response, a good consistent response, that really should fall on the makers of the platform, I believe.
You have logs, you can see what kind of messages are coming through your system, understand, you can study the conversations and try to figure out, okay, where's my funnel going, where are people dropping off, how are they through, and just through that process of reviewing user data, reviewing messages, making your system better, you start to analyze. Can you speak louder?
So a lot of bots, when they first start out, they don't have a lot of data. They get data from user interaction. So as users talk to your bot, you get data. You want to improve your bot, so you analyze the data, you read through the data. And as you read through the data, you start to realize, people come in with all these different perspectives, biases, lifestyle issues, just issues in general. And start to question yourself, should I be doing something about this data? But then, going back to, I don't think we should, because we can't give a consistent response to this problem. I think Facebook reads through every message. If you type something on Messenger, you'll start noticing the M pop up. You're like, hey, do you want to order something? Or hey, do you want to do X, Y, Z? So Messenger is reading the messages, or Allo's giving you these suggestions like you should do X, Y, Z. So if Google and Microsoft and Facebook are already reading through the data, they should have filters for suicide prevention and whatnot, and that shouldn't be left to us as a bot creator. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, Kik already has a bot that recognizes when you're in a personal crisis, and then the bot jumps in and tries to help you. So I think the platforms should solve the problem.
So talking about platforms, let's kind of dive a little bit further into the different platforms that are available to develop a bot on, or where we can, as users of bots, see them and they can help either our daily lives or our business, or if we're working on developing for our business, like what kind of features each one has. We'll start with, do you want to start with Line, since you're moving over to Line?
Sure.
Why am I moving the Line? Because Line wants me on the platform. Basically, everyone knows that Facebook is the 500-pound gorilla in the room. They have 1.2 billion monthly active users. You start going to Kik, and they're only at, 275 million? Line's at about 40 million active US. And all these other messengers, all the other messenger platforms like Line or Kik, they want to compete against Facebook. And how do they compete against Facebook? They drive the number of monthly active users, daily active users, hourly active users. And the reason why Line likes what Foodies.ai is doing in particular is that we're trying to solve the food problem. People think about food 3 times a day, every single day of the year. That's 1,000 times a year. And if you're thinking about food 3 times a day, that might mean you're on their Line platform 3 times a day. And that drives up their active users, and that makes them a better competitor against basic messengers of the world. So I think one go-to market strategy for bots is to hit up the secondary, or any messenger that's not Facebook, get their interests, convince them how you can help better their monthly active users, daily active users, and they will try their best to make sure that your product works really well on their platform, and they will actively push your product out there.
What kind of features does Line have that other platforms don't have?
What kind of features does Line have that other platforms don't? So each platform has their own individual personality. A lot of it basically goes down to what are the demographics of the platform, and based on those demographics, the platforms themselves have catered different functionality. Kik in particular is, I think, 14 to 18, or up to like 18-year-olds. So it's a much younger feel to it. So they have a lot more of the group dynamic built into the Kik app, I think. And bots are a lot of fun, playful bots on Kik. Messenger, it runs the gamut, you know. I'm on it, part of your grandfather and grandmother are on it as well. So their features are kind of stoic, I think. Line, on the other hand, is more cutesy, because they're an Asian messenger platform, the biggest messenger in Asia. They have a female bed to them, so you have a lot of cute stickers on it. Anyone else want to talk about the different messengers, like Slack and Telegram?
Fred, you want to talk about Kik a bit?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Kik has a pretty young audience, and I think when you're thinking of building a bot, you should figure out which audience you're targeting. So I think on Facebook Messenger you have the widest range of an audience, and for other particular messaging platforms, figure out if they have their target audience and then build on it, because I think the feature sets are nearly pretty the same on every platform. It's really high level to talk about the differences.
What about, why aren't we seeing more bots on something, we all use SMS, probably most used thing on our phones is text messaging. Why haven't more developers really focused on deploying bots into a messenger that comes with your phone?
I think I know Sensei, they're an also Los Angeles-based bot company. That's where they first got their start, because it was just right in all of our phones. It's very easy to start texting a phone number. So I think the real reason to your question, though, was why we don't see more, though, is because of just the UI. Because within messaging, it's just text. And when you're trying to go through multiple menu options or different types of trigger words, it's harder to go back and remember maybe those trigger words, where if you were inside of a UI like Messenger or Slack or any of these other things, where you have it's software based, you're more inclined to know where those menu items are or how to get around more, and also leverage more like graphics, like photos or videos. So I think that's really why. But if it came to, I think that's really more why. It's just the graphical user interface.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So the other platforms are kind of pushing the bot space way harder. So they're employing features, and now Facebook Messenger even has an extension that they launched at F8. So how have you seen, Fred, the extension that seems to be a quicker, more frictionless way to get your users compared to if they have to go into a bot store? They're featured in the bot store, so it is a little bit easier, but having it right there at the extension, how do you get on extensions? What do you think the extensions are going to do in the future?
So basically, I want to add something to the SMS thing or iMessage thing. So because especially we are talking about extensions, and iMessage also launched extensions. So, but I think it's really limited. So payment services, you have an iMessage extension, you invite the app and process your payment through it. And now this is also added to Facebook Messenger. So we created an extension where you can invite the bot into the group chat, and you can compare your opinions to your friends. So especially in our case, you get 10 questions and see how much you're matching with each person in this group.
but I don't know yet how big the extensions are going to become, to be honest.
What have you seen for your cost per user in the app compared to your cost per user in the bot?
So in the bot they are way lower, but on the other hand, the usage within the bot is not there yet where they are in the app, because a lot of UX and UI things are easier to implement in the app, but when they launch web views, you can nearly implement everything in the web views, but first you have to drive the user to open the web views. I don't know, no, sorry.
So this data might be outdated a few months, but about September of last year, cost per chat, cost per new user acquisition on the Kik Messenger was, I believe, 14 cents, and that's a lot lower than what you'll find on Google Ads, etc.
So Matt, question?
So for most small businesses, what kind of costs are involved in actually creating a bot? And also, if they have the funding or the budget to put into technology, do you recommend that they put that into a bot, developing a bot now, or into still developing some of the traditional, technology outlets, like creating a stellar website or even an
app? You need a website, a newsletter. I mean, most of you today are probably thinking, if you own a business, you're trying to promote something, I need a newsletter, a social media page, a website, and so forth. A bot is just another channel. So, and you make it a similar way. Now there's AI and there's computers think and all this confusing kind of you're not going to go out and build Siri tomorrow, okay? Chances are if you want to do a bot this week, you can build a simple bot that will say something to the user. You have a conversion goal, if you want an email sign up, or you want to tell a story, or you want someone to call for a consultation, whatever it may be, whatever your conversions are, your bot can converse and get them to those conversion points. You program it similarly to how you might program a MailChimp newsletter. You kind of paste in your little, what the bot's going to say. Here's the 3 options you're giving your user. They click one, then you say another thing, and so forth. It's not hard to do, and it's not expensive. There are actually tools right now that you can go to and build a bot, anyone, without any programming. There are a lot of unknowns, like where do I put my bot? How do I get into this space? What do I have my bot say? How do I make my bot not sound stupid? Same questions that apply to doing a newsletter. What do I put in my copy of my newsletter? It doesn't make me look bad. But I think you can realistically make a bot, this week or next week, and figure out how to test it. It's not science fiction anymore. In terms of getting a bot scripted in a really smart way and using it in a really smart way from a marketing standpoint, I think it's similar to what you might see from any marketing agency who's going to consult on, hey, how do you do a newsletter that's going to really pop? Where do you send it? How do you track it? What are your strategies? What's the verbiage? Start thinking of bots, chat bots, in the same way you think of your newsletter. It's just another channel that's actually really doable. And then the whole AI thing, will the computers take over the world? Do they think? How can they answer a million different kinds of questions and not sound like morons? It's sort of a different conversation. You may be able to plug that intelligence into your bot someday, but I think just short term, think of a more finite, down-to-earth bot.
I want to add something. When you're a small business, think of setting up a website. So on the other hand, I think you should also think of putting this website into a conversational flow, and I think you can build it on your own. Because what I believe is that bots will also replace a lot of websites, because it's much more convenient. Because when you go on a website, you are searching for a specific topic. And when you have a conversational website, you can simply ask and return what your user wants to have. So I'm thinking of a websites of big companies where you don't know where to go. So I think bots are a better solution for that. And for a simple small business website, you can build the bot on your own. There are tools like JetFuel, for example, where you can build your bot easily.
I'd like to add to this. I think a lot of verticals will have basically like Wix or WordPress for whatever industry. I know at least for the food space, Quazu is coming out with, or build yourself a restaurant bot. It'll be as easy as using Wix 123. It'll probably do a pretty good job. Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot for the Q&A space, customer service space, et cetera, et cetera.
Really quick. After this, go to Kik, upload it to your phone. If you don't have the app, you can talk to Kim Kardashian or DJ Khaled. Bots, you'll instantly understand what a bot is because it's really simple. It's really kind of stupid. I mean, so you talk to Kim Kardashian, she's like, hey, how you doing? And then you can answer in one of three ways. I'm good, I'm bad, I'm whatever. And if you say I'm bad, she'll be like, oh, I hear you. It's like not that hard. And you can do that. If you have like an emergency response thing, you can say like, what are you going to do if there's an earthquake? Freak out, whatever. Go under a table. Oh, you're going to go under the table. You're that kind of person. Well, let me tell you something that's stupid. Whatever it is. But it's fun. You could do a little tree. It's a conversational logic tree. That's the thing you say, then it splits off into three, and then, anyone can map it out like that. So download Kik to your phone.
Or you can, Facebook Messenger and stuff like that. You can see the bot store. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up here with just kind of a futuristic thought. And since I was saying we are really in the early stages of bots, and it's hard to say where it's going to go, but they're learning really quickly. Like having 3.2 million users touch you every single day and give you some kind of data points, like there's a lot of information there, And from like a chat experience in its early stages, and we're seeing Alexa, and they started an Alexa fund of $100 million, and really encouraging developers to start curating some more voice automations. Maybe we'll have, similar to the movie Her one day, where in our ear we have a personal assistant that we fall in love with. But where can this go?
Like becoming more prominent, or other types of voice assistants are becoming more prominent in your car and other types of devices. It's basically the big boys, the big companies are trying to push their agendas on every single type of hardware device there is. So you'll see that even in your refrigerators. So really you're going to see more and more voice assistants coming into play everywhere. Text chat, yes, it's going to be common, but I think you're going to be seeing way more in voice.
Yeah, the bots will get smarter. They'll be everywhere: education, healthcare, business, entertainment. There's nothing better than one-on-one conversation customized to your needs at that moment. And the only way to give that to everybody at all times is really smart bots. We want that, and we shall have it eventually.
I think that, or at least hope that bots will be more connected and share information. Right now it's kind of siloed. You have each bot has their own kind of conversations and knowledge about you. But I think in the future they'll be those bots will be more connected and share information between each other, and also exist not just in your chat, but also maybe in your car. Everywhere you go, it'll just be more of a kind of unified intelligence that knows about you and can suggest things, and it's seamless across different channels.
Yeah, I think that we will learn from the users, and users get more educated in using bots because they are not yet. So for now you have to guide them through the bot experience, I would say, and in the future I hope there is a lot of AI coming in, because now people, when they hear about bots, they think about smart AI, but we're not there yet. It's more about getting them to discover the bots, learn how they work, and in the future the AI is coming, I would say.
I want to say that text will be superseded at some point by straight voice, whether it's Alexa, Google Home, or Siri. I think there'll be a really tough competition there between the big three, and I think the Google Home of the world and Alexa of the world, with Alexa just raising a $100 million fund, I think you're going to start seeing the big players in the market choosing the winners and the losers of the chatbot market and the winners and the losers of the voice recognition market. Because I think ultimately the winners of the food space will probably be bought out by Alexa or Amazon Alexa or Google Home, etc. And the same thing for like the best movie rental business bot, the best food bot, the best theater ticket purchasing bot, etc. And you're going to have these monolithic systems by Amazon, Apple, and Google that will probably just dominate. I hope I'm not the only cynic here.
Any last questions before we cut off here?
Yeah, anybody have any questions?
I'd like to hear more about the Microsoft event, the AI event coming up, AI.LA.
Yeah.
I have you guys, I guess, an email, but if you go to the meetup.com, AI.LA is the meetup, and the next coming meetup is next week. I believe it's on, I should really know, right? It's May 4th or 5th. Yeah, it's not Cinco de Mayo, it's May 4th. Yeah, so anyways, check that out. I'll have them send out a link. But yeah, it's a free workshop or presentation at the General Assembly down in Little Tokyo. And then even the following month, you should follow that meetup anyways. The following month, we're also doing another workshop, a botathon with another company called MyPoly.ai. But yeah, next week you can learn more about Microsoft's platform.
Well, Anthony and I have been talking about a challenge bot hackathon, so we'll get it on the books later this year and let everybody know as well. But to be determined.
Well, inspired with you guys. Well, thank you very much. I'd like to say thank you to Dustin for being our moderator today. Also, like to say thank you to Anthony, Anthony and Scott and Rob and Todd and Fred for being on the panel. Today's informative. A lot of information. I know that the bot in general and the consumer base, I'm a marketing guy. The consumer base bot is a brand new thing to some, but the AI has been around for a good while. So it was very important that we felt that you get a chance, opportunity for those who didn't know about the bot world and the AI world to get a chance to ask questions and get to learn. So I appreciate our panel today for coming out from all the way from the west side to being down home in Pasadena. So once again, thank you so much and good morning.